I don't think either side recognizes the enormity of the problem or the imminence of the problem.
It is frankly disappointing to me. I still think that there are way too many people in denial around here.
Let me just add that paying lip service to the threat caused by the deficit is not a substitute for responsible leadership. And the job-destroying tax hikes on small businesses and American families are not the answer.
So here we go, and buckle up for an epic battle. Republicans and Democrats squaring off in the latest debate over the budget, what to cut, what not to cut. Senators voting against two dueling bills, including a Republican plan to slash $60 billion in federal spending. Well, in 8 days, the government runs out of money. What to do? Republican Congressman Ron Paul out of Texas is with me now. Sir, good morning to you, and welcome back here to America's Newsroom. What's going to happen here?
Well, I think that they will not close down the government. They'll come together, they'll fight and squirm, but I don't think anybody's anxious to close down the government. But I also know they're not going to have a resolution of the problem. The country is bankrupt and they won't admit it. Revenues are going down, expenses are going up, and the role of government is still the same. We still are expected to police the world. We're getting ready to invade another country, or at least put a no-fly zone on. The welfare state continues, and nobody's going to cut. So we're going to have a bankruptcy before Congress gets the message that they need to do something, because the political costs, I mean, there's everybody in the country basically, oh yeah, let's balance the budget. Nobody wants their program cut, and there's the problem. But to continue to do what we're doing now is going to lead to a financial, monetary disaster, because people will eventually reject the dollar. We just can't keep running up the debt and printing the money.
You agree with Claire McCaskill when she said people in Washington are in denial?
Oh, I think so.
Well, if that's the case, why has it not sunken in?
Because of the traditions. I mean, we've gone for 30, 40 years with this system, and we've always been able to revive the economy by doing the wrong thing, and that is spend more money and print more money. But eventually you can't do that. And so things are different today than they've ever been before in our whole history. And it's a worldwide event because we've had the privilege of printing money, and everybody else holds dollars, so the world is on a dollar standard, so it is much, much different. And to turn it off is an overwhelming task, and you have to reverse the whole notion of what government should be doing, and nobody even talks about that.
But you would agree that this is the beginning of that process. I mean, from the perspective up here in New York, it takes a while to turn off that large spigot. But it's happening, and you can see that, can't you?
Yeah, I think there's a larger number of American people are recognize it. More people here are recognizing the Congress has improved. We've had some new members, but the momentum is so great that turning the spigot off, it's like an addict. You know, there's too many symptoms from stopping the addict, and therefore it's much easier to take another drink or another shot. And that's the way we are in Washington, have been. But right now, we're in danger of killing the patient, and the patient is our freedoms and our economy and our prosperity, the soundness of our money. So it is a much bigger task than arguing over a token effort by the Democrats and a slightly greater effort by the Republicans. That is so far removed from reality.
You wonder how those 87 House Republican freshmen are shaping this debate. And that's in your chamber. That's not on the Senate side. But I think all of us agree that what Olympia Snowe said, the Republican senator from Maine, is that this is just the beginning, that it is the beginning. But how long it takes us to get there is the open question. How would Ron Paul get there? What would you cut?
Well, first off, I know a bit about history, and it is never solved by cutting back on spending. Debt will be repudiated, and the bankruptcy will be declared. And they don't do it by not paying their bills. They always pay their bills. The debt will be repudiated in order for us to get back to basics and back to growth again. It will be repudiated by printing so much money that all the debt is wiped off the books. So what I would do, if they would listen, you know, but the people aren't ready for it, is I'd cut everybody's budget a certain percent. Go through
5, 10, 20, what?
As much as you can get. Because people have to, if it were your home or your business, you'd have to do it. Why should government be any different? So I would say go through the appropriation process, do the 13 appropriation bills, and then if you're so many percentages above it, just cut it. If you want to do it over 1 or 2 or 3 years, set the standard. We're going to cut this much, and this much. It would be very helpful, and then we could work and pay down the debt.
Would you touch taxes at the same time? or leave them where they are?
Oh, well, the less taxes, the better. Yes, I would always cut taxes, because people will work. They will work harder if they have less taxes.
Yeah.
So instead of bailing out all the big banks when the crisis hit a couple of years ago, I would have just, repealed or suspended the income tax.
We talked many times too. Ron Paul, thank you. Your prediction today is that the government's not going to shut down in 8 days. We'll get a continuing resolution, as they call it, in Capitol Hill, and cut a few more billion every week until you get an ultimate resolution.
That's
we'll see when
my
that
best guess.
comes. Ron Paul, thank you for your time today on the Hill. Good to see you again.